Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the weather forecast here by Adrian's Weather Forecast. And it's going to be an update on major severe weather threats throughout the Midwest and Ohio Valley starting tomorrow. Actually, we'll be seeing also flooding threats. We'll be seeing really heavy rain throughout much of late this week into early next week. Just continue to see a really heavy rain with multiple low pressure systems. We might see a little bit of snow in the western half of the United States and even the Midwest as well. But again, this still be really the northern, really far northern Midwest, like areas near northern Minnesota and far northern Wisconsin. No threats there. So the main threat is severe weather. We could possibly seem close to maybe one of the most worst severe weather outbreaks so far this year, and that's including the South Central outbreak. Earlier in January, we had a moderate risk. Today, we have a slight, and then tomorrow, we're up to a moderate severe weather risk throughout the Midwest. I'm going to be covering detailed radars, day outlooks, National Weather Service, and multiple other things. So be sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel, and also be sure to share the channel. But without further ado, let's get in this video. So here we are looking at the National Weather Service. Right now, no severe weather really anything except throughout out here into northern Oklahoma and southwestern Missouri. We actually do have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect near Grove, and also we do have that for southwestern Missouri. Actually, let me refresh. Okay, now we have new updates. So now we actually do have some new things. We do have severe thunderstorm watches out here into southwestern Missouri. We have that for Joplin. We do have that for Lebanon, Rolla, Brasson, and Springfield, Missouri, just south of Jefferson City. We have severe weather again. This is where we have a slight chance today. The severe weather will be pretty bad today, with some really small but strong bands, but tomorrow's going to be really bad. And again, as you guys can tell, we do have blizzard warnings in effect. Again, it's very unexpected, but it's a very small snowstorm. Won't even close to being named and won't really be that long lasting. Of course, I'll be talking about it if it was going to be named in really big blizzard, but again, that's really not going to be too bad. And then again, we also have flash flood watches in effect throughout areas into the Midwest and also northern plains. So that's where we have really our flash flooding threats. So again, today we do have up to a slight chance again where we have these severe thunderstorm warnings are active under the marginal, but where we have severe thunderstorm watches, that's from the slight chance. And again, marginal is actually for 26 million people all the way from Texas to Pennsylvania. We do have it for Chicago, Columbus, Fort Worth, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa. Again, we also have the getting into north central West Virginia, also getting out there into near Dallas, Texas, also for Des Moines, Iowa City, Rockford. You guys are also into the marginal risk. For the slight chance, that's also for 14 million people, including Indianapolis, Kansas City, St. Louis, Fort Wayne, and Overland Park. So as you can tell, really, really big cities under this slight chance. Tornado risk is, again, it's not incredibly high, but actually having more than a 2% chance is an indication that possibly seeing a really good chance for tornado. 5% chance is more like a 30% chance, really, for tornado outbreak, because really a chance for tornadoes and any severe weather is really, really slim. It's always going to be the lowest chance compared to wind and hail. So 5% chance is in effect for around 1.5 million people for Elliott, Kansas, Columbia, Missouri, Blue Springs, Missouri, Lenexa, Kansas, and Leawood, Kansas. So again, that's going to be for more southeastern Kansas and much of western and central Missouri. The wind threat's very low, actually only a 5% chance. So that's really, really low. And also hail threats really, really low as well, only a 15% chance. That's for Indianapolis, Kansas City, St. Louis, Fort Wayne, and Overland Parks. But tomorrow is a completely different story. Look at this, guys. Incredibly heavy rain, severe weather coming to the Midwest. So we are finally seeing the severe weather season coming now into the northern United States. We're going to be seeing slight chance now in Indiana. Even Michigan will be under under a slight chance. Ohio, your first time, I believe so. So yeah, we're definitely going to start seeing the severe weather ramping up as we are now, again, in spring and very close to severe weather. I believe it's next week's the first week of severe weather. So the marginal, we do have 31 million people rounded up. That's all the way from Louisiana up into near Ontario. And again, that's going to be for major cities like Detroit, Memphis, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Akron, Ohio. Again, we also do, I believe we have out there into Alexandria, Little Rock. We do have Poplar Bluff. We do have getting near Wisconsin Dells, Muskegon, and Lansing, all under marginal as well, and even Pittsburgh and Erie. And then in the slight chance, that's where we possibly seeing the maybe other really strong bands as well, bigger threat than the marginal, of course. That's level 2. That's for 35 million people, really. For Chicago, Indianapolis, Columbus, Milwaukee, Nashville, really other big cities like Tupelo, also including Huntsville, also including out there near Toledo. And then also now including the enhanced risk, that's where we'll be seeing a level 3 out of 5. That's really, really possibly seeing the close to the worst of the bands, the biggest chances for tornadoes and all that. And that's for 4 million people. That's for Aurora, Illinois, Joliet, Illinois, Springfield, Illinois, Hammond, Indiana, and Decatur, Illinois. So also including not far from Davenport, Iowa, but again, Davenport's in the moderate risk. It's going to be also for the far eastern part of Missouri, and not much, really. Of course, Illinois is looking like they're going to get really the worst of it, and the Mississippi River is definitely to get really demolished out there in the Midwest. And now for the moderate risk, that's for 1.5 million people, which is a lot. We have, I forgot how to say this other city, Peoria. I really don't know how to pronounce that. That's then we have Davenport, Iowa, Bloomington, Illinois, Norman, Illinois, and Moline, Illinois. So it's actually the worst of the severe weather. It's not far at all from Chicago. And wow. And now let's see how high the tornado threat. I've actually not checked it yet. And holy cow, guys, we are up to a 15% chance for tornadoes, which is incredibly high, actually. A 15% chance is definitely, there's a really, really big chance we're seeing a tornado at a 15% chance. We see EF3s and EF5s, EF3s and EF2s, and only areas that have a 2% chance. I can't even imagine 15% chance, like a 70% chance, in other words, really, even though it doesn't say 70% chance, but that's really, really high. That's for 1.5 million people, Davenport, Bloomington, Norman, and Moline. So if you know anybody there, they definitely are going to get really the worst of the severe weather, of course. Wind threat maintaining a little 15% chance, and the possibly really big hail threat, hail threats at a 30% chance there. Now time to look at the NAM3KM model radar. The next 8 hours, we're going to start seeing by early tomorrow morning. These bands are going to start erupt. First of all, it'll be kind of just some small thunder and really heavy rain coming into Detroit, Chicago, Milwaukee. But then the severe weather started forming kind of out here into the Ozarks. Seeing really, really strong bands towards Jefferson City. That's possibly really strong multi-cell systems there. And as we now get in the next 13 hours, look at these very strong bands that are going to be going through Indianapolis, moving towards western Ohio, seeing some severe weather bands forming out here into the central plains, out there near Kansas, start seeing the really heavy rain. But look at this incredibly severe weather moving now. That's going to be moving through it. Now, eastern Ohio, very strong bands moving towards northern Virginia, southeastern Pennsylvania, very strong bands moving out here. And Illinois and Missouri also moving into the border of Chicago or the border of Illinois. And Wisconsin, very strong band, also moving through Indiana and Ohio. Ohio could be seeing very strong bands moving towards Columbus. And again, also going to be seeing more and more bands coming. Really getting wrecked on Sunday is Wisconsin. Green Bay, Eau Claire, Wisconsin Dells, Minneapolis, Rochester, Twin Cities. You guys are all going to get really demolished. And then we'll have more and more. Even these bands will possibly be really bad that will be crossing Lake Michigan. So definitely going to be sunny for the beginning of the day. But these bands will definitely end that. And we're going to be seeing possibly, maybe I would not doubt if we have a slight percent chance. Maybe even an enhanced risk. But that might be pushing it a little bit. But really heavy rain towards out there near north central Michigan right there. Now time to look at the normal radar so we can look at farther out in this flooding threat. And again, as we now get the next 12 hours, start seeing that, again, this rain is actually going to be severe weather, get it mostly out there into the Midwest, also seeing some outskirts out there into the Ozarks and Southern Plains. In the next 24 hours, again, this severe weather is definitely going to get a lot worse. That's where the darker green is. The darker green either means incredibly heavy rain that got a fast rate or severe weather. This rain is going to be stretching all the way into the mid-Atlantic as well. So a really big, this is definitely more than 1,500 miles at least, and that's going to bring really heavy rain all the way from Kansas to the Atlantic Ocean, and then another wave. So it's going to be like kind of over at one part, but then it's going to be a lot worse. Now going to bring in that rain to the southern Mississippi River. Really heavy rain from Memphis, Paducah, Little Rock, Alexandria, and then even more rain. And this is definitely going to see, really, this is going to show and prove to the Midwesterners and Northeasterners that really winter's over. This is where we're going to be seeing now. We're going to be seeing a lot more rain coming in. We don't really see incredibly as much rain in the winter in these northern states and the southern states, but we're definitely be seeing the spring rain coming into the north, into the north now, instead of seeing snow. So this is definitely going to prove to all you guys, especially right here, that winter's over, as we'll be seeing a moderate risk, which is extremely rare to see if you're not done with winter yet. And again, really heavy rain throughout the Great Lakes, incredibly heavy rain moving to the New England area, and then it will be mostly over, but still bringing incredibly heavy rain all the way by Monday into the Northeast, and then we could have another system. This one might actually affect more of the southern states than northern states. Time to look at the GFS really quick in the next 18 hours, seeing really heavy rain, especially out there into the Mississippi River. Also going to be affecting the Ohio Valley, bring that rain throughout the Midwest. And again, this low pressure system will actually bring incredibly heavy rain as well for the north central plains. And that's going to be for Minnesota, South Dakota, and Nebraska. And then seeing the lighter rain outskirts out here. Even though it's really the main system, it's going to be more like an outskirts with, it's going to be really not as conjoined like this. It's going to be very like just multiple little bands like that we saw in the Android KM model. It's not going to be like this big or anything, but again, really big flooding threat, especially for the Mississippi River. By Sundays, we're going to be seeing that really heavy rain, and then it should diminish by not really going to be including me. But again, also going to bring that rain throughout the Appalachians as well, and still bringing that rain into the Midwest, but maintaining quite light. Shouldn't be a problem. And then rainfall totals aren't bad either. Except really right here into the Northeast, we'll actually possibly seeing more than 3 inches for once this whole year. We will be seeing up to 3.5 inches just east of Pittsburgh. Also seeing 2 to 2.5 inches scattered throughout the Northeast and New England area. Out there, and also just outside the Great Lakes into the Midwest, we will be seeing scattered areas from 1 inch up to 2.5 inches there. And then also seeing that really heavy rain that will be starting in Tuesday. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye guys.